What's going on, guys? Clutch here. Welcome back to another video. Today's just gonna be a simple, life video, because I've been thinking about it recently, and this year I've actually recovered from like most of my issues, I suppose. Because if you guys don't know, I during the summer, especially, I had a huge mental breakdown on the internet, and that video is now deleted. So if you guys did see that video, I apologize for even posting that video. I took it down like 2 days afterward because I realized, like, wait, what have I done? Because I got into some detail that I shouldn't have, and I didn't want to feel like that guy begging for attention on the internet or anything. So I'm like, I took down the video. I took down that video a long while ago. But yeah, it was not a fun time for me, I'll admit that, because my mental state has been everywhere in the past 2 years or so. And I feel like it's just time for me to tell you guys like a few of my experiences in the past year and how my year has actually been, actually recovered from this. So without any further ado, let's start talking about some of the major things that have happened this year so far, at least. I should be talking about this like at the end of the year, but I'm not. I'm doing it now since I totally been posting content for the past 3 weeks. I totally been doing that. But I obviously haven't. But anyway, before I actually get into full detail and depth and stuff, I just want to let you guys know, if in the comments down below, cope with something, like tell me something like a little bit about yourself. I just want to, because I don't want to be the only one like venting to like my viewers and stuff. I don't want to be the only one doing that. So if you want to, say something, go ahead and put it in the comments. Don't try to make it too personal, because, they're public comments after all. Unless you really want to do that, then by all means do it. I'll read them. And, yeah, let's begin my Jurassic journey. Well, this journey actually does take place about, like, a year ago when I started working on Exotic Craft, because, my mental state was like at a medium at this point. Like, it was complicated, I suppose. Like, I didn't know what I wanted in life, I guess. Like, I questioned myself a lot, and it was not healthy to question why are you alive right now. I mean, okay, like, I guess from a religion standpoint, I mean, I guess you can kind of question it. Like, for example, like if you question your faith in God, and like, because it's okay to question your faith, but like the way I was viewing it, I was thinking about going and speaking that I've actually attempted to do that before, but then it was really weird. Like, something told me not to do it at that time, and this happened like in late 2020 when that happened. Anyway, we're in 2023 now. Well, when I'm telling the story. But anyway, I started working on Exotic Craft for 2 reasons. One, just because of the fact that, like, it distracted me from the real world. It made me like get in depth, and that's one of the reasons why video games is just very popular, because it allows you to escape this one and go to a virtual one where it feels like you have no problems. But what I tend to realize from working on that server for over a year, almost over a year straight, is that it's not healthy. First off, you should not be playing a game all the time. Like, you should not be doing that in general, just because of the fact that, like, especially from my point of view, it's like, oh my god, I get to put out all these cool ideas, and maybe like the more I work on it, the more the reward I'm getting out of it, you know, like it's like, let's just say you work on a game for like 2 or 3 years or so, and you're ready to finally put it out there for the public, and you realize that you don't have like many errors, like not many errors. Oh my god, I suck at this. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is like, my hope for is like, if I got this done, this could like help me turn my life around, you know? Because at the time when I was making this, like in my head, I had like a very odd ego, I guess. Because don't get me wrong, 3,000 followers on TikTok, was like that was me having 3,000 followers on TikTok at the time, and in my head, because at the time I was making a lot of, well, somewhat of good money from TikTok live gifts that I would occasionally get, and because when I did get them, I got like a like, you know, an unnormal amount of money that I would obtain myself. So when I, you know, started doing that more and more, and at this point I was averaging about like this is like occasionally, I'm not saying I averaged that all the time or anything, but if every single once in a while, let's say I was doing a pretty unique challenge, like you know, speed running Minecraft or defeating the Ender Dragon or something like that, people would chime in at that point and get like, because, you know, it's similar to how YouTube works. TikTok has like a very own recommended page, but you get recommended live streams too. And when that happens and people see that you're about to beat the game, people tune in more, send gifts and follows, stuff like that. So basically, I averaged about 50 viewers, but most of the time it would probably be like around like 12. Although I do remember when I was beating Ender Dragon at one point, I averaged about 300. I'm like, oh my god, that's insane. But anyway, at that time I was like, okay, I'd be good to take a break from this, right? Like, totally my followers or my TikTok won't die while I just sit here and just build up an entire Minecraft server and just not post or anything or do anything. And that's basically what I did. I only streamed like every single like once in a while in a month, but then my viewership started going down, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done? And basically that was like, I'm not saying that was the cause of my mental health problems starting to begin, but it was like, I feel like that was one of the main elements that went into that, because I was like, because when it comes down to content creation and you see your viewers start declining and stuff, you'd be thinking to yourself, like, what am I doing wrong as a person? What are you, like, how can I improve? Like, you start putting all this, like, built up pressure on yourself, and you're like, and then it's basically makes your mind go, like, panic mode, you know, like, oh my god, what have I done? And in that panic mode of mine, I was like, Exotic Craft has gotta be the best thing ever. Exotic Craft gotta be the best thing I could ever create. Which, don't get me wrong, I love Exotic Craft. I love my server that I have built. I still have it, and I'm starting to work on it again, but I've been taking my actual time on it. I have not been, you know, forcing myself to play the game and make much more things on it. But anyway, so we fast forward to about, you know, maybe around like mid-February, mid-March. And obviously, I've been pushing myself to my absolute limit at this point. That was my limit in March or February, around there. That was, in fact, my limit. I will proudly say that right now. That was, in fact, my limit. And so when I started asking people for help, especially like, you know, a bunch of old admins, stuff like that, and a few of my friends, which I get personal stuff comes into play, and I understand that, but it just sucks that, like, you know, I was the only person putting in all this effort just for me to, like, you know, wear myself down and putting more and more pressure on me, because at this point in my Discord server, not online or anything, like on what's it called, TikTok or YouTube or anything at this point, no one was really requesting Exotic Craft. But in the Discord server, however, I was making, like, you know, very big, like, community posts and stuff like that on there, and I was like, oh my god, like, this is actually like popularity started starting. it kind of bit like not like thousands of people, but like maybe like 20 at the time, probably, maybe a little less. Like we're wanting exotic craft, and I was like, and people were DMing me like, when's the next leak and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, like what have I done? So this made me go to like Reddit and stuff, and just like basically begging people to help me. And you know, I had a few people submit the request, but like after their first day working, they either would just blow me off or just block me in general. And I was like very, very mental state. And I get, okay, because I remember this one guy, his name was Egg, all right, and he actually did work on the server for a few weeks. But the problem is, since, you know, we were working different time zones a little bit, and he had his own thing running, it wasn't really working out. So, but I just really, really wanted, like, you know, a relaxation break while someone else worked on it. And I didn't want to feel like he was working on it by himself, because I still, in fact, worked on it when I was on there. I just was slowing down my pace and actually, like, taking, like, a few, like, guess, like, mental breaks, like, maybe, like, 10-minute to 15-minute breaks or stuff like that, which is still not enough, but, like, you know, at this point, I'm like, I need to get this done before the release date, you know, because this is right before the trailer was about to, you know, this is right before I made the trailer and stuff, and I just wanted everything to be good and perfect. So yeah, that was a lot of pressure on myself, and I just didn't like it. But, and plus, let's just move away from the game aspect for a second. My mental state before this, it was mainly due to my dad and stuff. Like, I had basic, like, PTSD from it started happening from like mid 2022 when I started, like, I always had nightmares about him, but like not to the certain extent. So in 2022 I went to court with him. Well, didn't go to court with him, went to court with my mom, and I heard some things I shouldn't have heard of, and it just very made me feel hurt, basically, from my dad. And yeah, and I still hold a few of those emotions back, but it's just very, very, very upsetting. But anyway, what was I even talking about? I don't remember. What was I even saying? Yeah, wait. Oh god. Okay, yeah, that's right. Taking a step back, yeah. So, as this was going on, I was also having very bad anxiety problems. I still have very bad anxiety. But I'm trying to break through that shell as we speak right now. But I would constantly have, it started off with nightmares, and it started like from like weird PTSD stuff, and it just got to the point where even in school sometimes I would start having these random like panic PTSD attacks or whatever. Like, I would begin to start crying for no reason and just try to hold back my tears as I just remember this. And I remember I was in my one of my history classes, and the teacher just like saw me like staring off into space, and just like he knew I was conscious. Like, he knew, I looked right at him in the eyes, I remember that, and he was asking me if I was okay, and I just like couldn't move. Or it's just a very weird thing to be in. It's very hard for me to explain, but like, it's like as if my mind was both in the present and in the past, and just like kind of conflicting with each other. It was very, very, very strange. And that was one of the only times that happened in public. Most of the time it would happen at home when I wasn't streaming or making a video or anything. I would just like mentally break down, and just like in the screen I would just have these moments, and just like try to keep exotic craft, you know, on the mind instead of that. But it got to the point where it just stopped working, and that's when my downfall really began there. So at this point, no one was really helping me work on the server, and at this point it's May and the trailer is dropped. I made an official release date, and I thought everybody would be fine with it. Like I said, if we work extra hard, we can actually do this. If we get everybody online at least like 2 to 3 times a week, we can actually do this. And that never happened. and that just drove me further and further into this hole that I put upon myself, where I got to the point where it came down to the release date and I looked at the game and I'm just like, this isn't going to be enough content. And I just like here's the thing, I wasn't grateful for the content I had on the thing, and to be honest, I still feel that way a little bit, but I felt like it would have survived. I felt like it would have survived for at least a few months. And plus my the card wasn't being registered whenever I tried paying for a realm on my computer for some reason. Hopefully I won't have that problem when I actually do make Exotic Craft come out again. But yeah, it was just very crazy, and it got down to the point where I just said, you know what, I'm done with the server. I put it in announcements and I'm like, guys, I'm not doing it anymore. Stopped working on the server entirely. Basically threw it away to let it rot. And that's when my downfall really began. And basically over the summer, I was on and off my computer a lot. And I was just, it was weird. Alright, I was laying back and I'm just sitting there in my room, just laying down, and I'm just like there, and then it's very easy to act all happy when there's nothing wrong with you, and I feel like that's what people don't understand nowadays. And and we always just come up with the excuse saying that we are okay, right? But the truth is we're not okay when we say we're okay, and you can tell. But anyway, this video is about the end right here, but you know what? I'm going to go past the video limit here. I'll probably put something else on screen here. But at that point in time, I just felt like it sounds like a selfish thing when I say this, but I felt like everyone was against me at this time. And I'm sorry that my mind is like all mishmash. I'm very bad at like scripts and stuff. I don't even have a script for this. It's just how my mind works, and I talk about this. But another thing that I tend to realize is like how my friend group really treated me, not just me, but other people as well. And that also made an impact on me, and it has been ever since forever ago, actually. Like, I never liked having this weird, oh my god, basically what I'm trying to say is like, I feel like I never fit in with my friend group, and I felt like the only reason why I was there was just be the main person to get picked on, the main person to get targeted on. And I still do feel this way. That's why I've been trying to inch away slowly but surely away from them. And they might think it's for a different reason, but all reality, I just want to get away from them. I do. Like, you don't my friends, it feels like my friends weren't my friends. There's like only like one of them in my friend group that can feel like a true friend. But like the rest of them, they can all go to hell. Because I don't know. When I talked to Gabe about it, he felt the exact same way. And we started just kind of talking about it, and at this point my friend group was not cool with Gabe either, and I ended up just telling him a bunch of things like they were saying behind his back, and I felt guilty for him not being there to defend himself, which, don't get me wrong, not all the drama was like really necessary, and I'm not going to go into that drama because like that's more of my friend group type thing, and it's not really my business. But Like, how do you let one of our best friends go? Like, why would you do that to somebody? Like, I get that. don't I don't understand it, because he's been my best friend ever since middle school, ever since 6th grade, for that matter of fact, because I felt like him and I just got along so well, and now he's doesn't live here anymore, and I felt like that was one of the reasons why they got so mad, because he brought up a good point when I was talking to him about this. His friends down there act like his real friends compared to over here, because they actually feel like they care and they don't just talk about, sex and how bad this girl. I mean, it's okay to talk about these things every single once in a while, but in my friend group, it's like there's like with this certain person that talks about it a lot, and it gets on my nerves. But I just sat there and listened, and I did sacrifice a lot to get away from my friend group entirely. I stopped going to the gym because of it. Like, I just want to fully cut ties away from them. I mean, do I feel guilty about it? A little bit. But, like, anything that I did, anything that I said, anything that I would try to say, because my mind is like a very big cluster noodle, I guess you can call it. And it's just like, it's very weird, because like right now I stutter between two things. I go back to one topic and I switch back to another. It's like my brain can't focus on one thing. And when my friends would eventually catch on to this, they usually just called me like special or anything, in which they could be joking, but sometimes it doesn't feel like a joke, And I feel like I made the least fun out of everybody. I just made a basic joke because one of our friends is Ginger, and I just said, "Hey, you Ginger," like, and I hated how the fact that whenever they always made a joke about me, I just I really just sat there and took it, and I'm just like, yeah. And sometimes I'll ask them to stop, and it got to a point where this is when my mental state was very, very bad as well. I would go into context about this joke. It's a really fucked up joke. Basically, they were talking about me wanting to do something very bad to my dog Bella. And it's not an abusive way per se. I just put an S word in front of it and you will get the topic as bestiality. And it started in my math class, and I really just like told them to stop, and they wouldn't at all. And that's when I came to the point where I was like, I hate this friend group. Why am I even friends with anybody in here? Because everyone would just chip in at it, and I understood the point of me being in that friend group is me just being picked on the most. So what I did was, I blocked all of them on social medias, and I blocked most of them. And you know what the most shitty part about it was? That when I thought I got a good apology out of one of the friends, I'm like, I felt happy, because I'm like, okay, he's wanting to make this work, he's really my friend. Only to realize that he laughed about it behind my back. And, I wasn't too happy about it, especially when this quote-unquote joke, was becoming a rumor across the school. And I just felt very uncomfortable about it. I did. And the way they just treated it, like, what if that was you? What if you're the one that always got picked on in the friend group? What if that was your only reason why you were there. Just think about that for a minute. If any one of my friend groups is somehow and for some reason watching this long ass video of me talking about my mental state, because this has been on my mind for quite some time, and since I deleted my old video, which was very depressing about it, and since I'm now just coming out of that phase, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit more. That's one of the main reasons why I'm talking about it. And another reason why I'm talking about it on here is that I want to ask all of you, the few of you out there that happen to watch this video, I want you guys to ask yourselves, are you guys in the same position if I'm in? Do you have good friends? Do you have good people in your life? Do you have someone like the edge on someone's shoulder to, talk about these things? I can name a few. One of them being my best friend Gabe, another one being my girlfriend right now, and sometimes my mother, but, sometimes I feel like, I can't really share everything with her, so. But, anyway, I want to ask all of you, like, if you're in this position and you don't really know what to do, because I never knew what to do either, think about, like, how can you start edging your way away from them without them, because here's the thing, I left my friend group a while ago, okay? Mainly, my main friend group. I mean, I still hang out with a few people. Well, mainly one, kinda, not really. I haven't really talked to him in a minute. The only time I talked to him is really at lunch, but what occurred to me when I stopped just showing up to the gym, stopped, doing all of this, snapping them and stuff, I have not gotten a single message from them. I have not gotten a single call, text. Heck, they even unadded me on Snapchat just because I wouldn't open up their snaps, which my Snapchat, okay, I had my girlfriend open all of them just because she said she wanted to. And it's just very, like, I don't open snaps, okay? Like, Snapchat, the only reason why I really do have it at this point is just to send streaks. Like, I'm not even on it unless someone texts me or something like that on it. Otherwise, I won't answer it at all. So, yeah. That's the only reason why I have it, really, is just to send streaks. But anyway, I don't really know what else to talk about my mental health side. I don't even remember what I was going at there. But I'll tell you this, I almost did something I would have regretted this summer. It was in July. And, yeah, I got out of it because I am starting to realize that I'm okay. If that makes sense. I have to go in more detail later. But, yeah. I don't really know what else to do with this because this is kind of like, oh yeah, I guess I can talk about this. In the most recent months, actually, I've been having the best time of my life right now. Some of it is good, some of it's bad, but with me not having all this weight on my shoulders, I feel like a better person, personally. Because, especially now, I'm trying harder in school again. I am trying my best. And I'm trying probably at probably the year that colleges and stuff or schools look at it like, man, this kid really did suck this year. And, senior year is usually the laid back year, but I don't care. I'm trying hard in everything right now. I I'm doing stuff like I wouldn't usually do. Like in my journalism class, I'm using thesaurus to make sure all my words sound fancy and stuff. So, yeah, I'm I'm trying to improve on myself. And recently I've been going to youth group. My girlfriend really got me into it. And yeah, who knows? Maybe I started going back to my religious ways because, to be honest, in our small groups that we have in there, we get to talk about stuff like this and get off our chest. And yesterday, when I went to that youth group, because right now I'm recording this Monday on October 28th, and I felt comfortable with releasing this information, and I thought to myself, like, why not just putting it out there? You know, it's, I get like my mind is a big cluster noodle and stuff, and I'm sorry that you can't really comprehend any of the see what I mean? Comprehend any of the information that I just said on this video. So feel free to ask me in the comments down below if you feel this way, if you're inside this friend group and you feel the way that you do. Like if you're in a similar situation like me, like my friends are not treating me like my friends or something, just let me know and I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you right now, actually. I started, like, slowly stop going to the gym for two reasons. One, because, like, I went there with two buddies, and one of them had kind of just ticked me off. Sometimes there was three buddies, but sometimes one of them would just take me up the wall, and I would just hold it in, And here's the thing, don't hold back your emotions. It makes you weaker. You might think you're doing yourself a favor by not letting them loose, but sometimes I feel like it's okay to let them loose, and I'm starting to realize that too. Even my other buddy that went to the gym, he sits on my lunch table, and I still have a pretty good connection with him. I do think I could say that. I think I still have a pretty well established connection, even though sometimes he does throw jokes out there that really do tick me off. And I just really try not to focus on those because I know that this golden rule still applies. Treat others the way you're supposed to be treated. And I started doing that a lot more. And because I even thought that when I was in my bad mental state, saying like, if I just don't, comment on anything, like, it was very bad. It was very bad. And I'm thinking about more and more stuff about that, and I'm going to push that back. Because, basically, my mind was not right. Okay, this is the point. This is the point. This was the point of the video. Oh my god. I am so sorry. This video has gone on long enough, so I will not keep this video as long, as big as it seems. Oh my god, you see what I mean? I can't really explain it. But, oh my god, where was I even at? I don't remember. Yeah, comments down below, I think. Right? No. Yes. I don't remember. My brain is not a good brain. Can we trade? Yeah, this right now, I mean, I'm having issues right now, but they're not really my battles. It's getting handled with. We're getting over it. I'm moving into a new place here soon because of those reasons, but it's nothing too serious, like just a little eviction notice. That sounded... It's... There... If people want to know the story, just ask me. If you guys have any personal questions, or if you're somehow in some way a new viewer to this cringe Minecraft YouTuber that just randomly talked about his thoughts in this video, and you somehow in some way made it this far, that's pretty incredible. I don't know why you stuck around for this long, but you know what? If you did, subscribe, and if you really do have any questions about, anything, I'll be willing to share. All right. Just DM me. My Discord is just clutch_lag. DM me there at any time. Don't expect me to respond right away. I probably won't. I do that a lot, especially on text messages, which, speaking of which, my girlfriend texted me 38 minutes ago. I have not answered her. She said, let me finish up homework, then I'll call you. And I did not even say okay. I am a terrible boyfriend, okay? God, how did I get her? But anyway, that is all for right now. If you guys really do have any questions, put it in the comments, add me on Discord, just stuff like that. And I'll see you guys later.